Welcome to Dr. A's weekly Healthy Bastards Health Tip. This week's health tip is thanks to Deirdre. Last week she asked on the Healthy Bastards Facebook, what is chronic fatigue syndrome? Well, now chronic fatigue syndrome isn't bullshit. Most health experts around the world agree there is an illness called chronic fatigue syndrome. It usually starts with something like a bereavement or an accident or a viral illness, a flu-like illness. Like it was really big down the South Island once. There was something called Tapanui flu, where the doctor down there described this fatigue that people developed after getting this sort of flu-like illness. The initial being tired is then followed by chronic fatigue, but it has to be over 6 months before you can actually call it chronic fatigue syndrome. You can get some physical illnesses. It's pretty vague though, muscle aches and pains or swelling of your glands, okay? So if 100 people turn up to a doctor over a couple of months with chronic fatigue-like symptoms, you'll find that of that 100, a certain percentage are just lazy bastards. A certain percentage will have medical illnesses, maybe thyroid, low anemia that has to be diagnosed for the doctor. Once it's treated, the fatigue goes. Or another percentage will have psychiatric illness like depression, they may be druggies or alcoholics. Once those people have been excluded, it will leave a small but significant group of people who fit the diagnosis of chronic fatigue syndrome. So what causes it? Well, no one knows. They're spending millions trying to find out, but people with chronic fatigue tend to have a lower immunity and it seems to be more common in women than men. That's about all I know. So anyway, if you're stuck with chronic fatigue, what do you do about it? Well, really there's not much because no one's got any magical cures, but things that do help some people with chronic fatigue is knowing that most eventually will recover. Sometimes not 100%, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, so you just got to keep positive. A lot of people swear by acupuncture. A lot of people find exercise good and not initially hard out, but developing a routine in their day where they increase the exercise levels. Maybe that's affecting some hormonal system, I don't know. And also diet's important, a good all-round diet, and some herbal things too. No one can prove it, but some people say things like ginkgo and certain green teas help, but there's no drug that I can give you as a doc. So anyway, Deirdre, I hope that's helped a bit. It just gives you a bit more idea on what chronic fatigue is. It's not bullshit, and if you can find a cure, you will be worth $1 billion. So, see you next week, fellas.